Imagine that. I'm my own sponsor, which is totally awesome. I just ask that you guys subscribe and hit those like buttons. It really helps out. That's what I'm promoting, being my own sponsor. Also, I do have a Cash App. Any and all donations is appreciated. I've gotten 2 donations so far, and both have came in really clutch. I do appreciate you. Sending you much love. Now back to our followed content. What's up, YouTube? AlienAscend here. Just want to jump into this video. What's worse, homeless or jail? Real quick, shout out to my subscribers. Run those likes up. Subscribe if you like my content. So what's worse, homeless or jail? This video idea is actually from Joey the Gypsy. I watched his video a few days ago, and I liked it. I wasn't going to do a video on it, but I had a comment where somebody said that in Colorado, it was easier for them just to go to jail to survive a winter because they had nothing going on, and it ended up saving his life, if I remember correctly. So what's worse, homeless or jail? You know, I personally would rather be homeless, but I understand just how good it can be for some people to go to jail. Beating addiction, you know, a lot of people have said that jail saved their lives. You know, they were able to kick cold turkey. They had to. There's also some people who go to jail and get a bad habit like that, you know. Me personally, I love my freedom, right? I like being able to know that I can, like be free. You know, I mean, we all live kind of in a cage anyways, but the bottom line is in jail, in jail, just talking about my experience, I have a clean background, everything like that. Growing up, I stayed on the straight and narrow because I lived in a very bad area and stuff like that. I was friends with everybody, played sports with them, did a lot of fighting, had to, you know. I was assaulted a lot, you know, and I fought and I became friends with people. A lot of those people ended up being gang members. A lot of them actually got addicted to stuff, just like their parents. Their parents were gangbangers as well. A lot of them were addicts, you know. A lot of them, the stuff that, you know, I can't talk about on YouTube because it's I guess, you know, it just doesn't come off very good. A lot of stuff like that would go on, man. The bottom line of all that stuff is I used to write my friends in jail, in county jail and in prison. I have friends that are doing life in prison. I haven't wrote them in a long time. That's actually what happens, man. When like life out, like when somebody goes to prison or jail, they start a new life. And out of sight is out of mind. So like growing up, I remember in high school, still writing my friends that were in jail and prison. I hanged out with a lot of people that were older than me, a lot of people that were my age, but the people that were older than me, prison, and people my own age, a lot of them went to prison for murder, first degree murder. There was a particular gang that they would join, and they would. That's what the initiation was they had to take, you know, they had to do something like that. And I remember getting upset all the time, where I would see one of my friends, I hadn't seen him for a while, and I see a new tattoo on him, and that tattoo being that, and I'm like, dude, you know how many people I freaking grew up with, and that same gang, and not much longer they're in prison, man. But I would rather be I'd rather be homeless. I believe that there's more opportunities. I also like my freedom. In jail, you know, in my opinion, you can't just walk away from somebody saying something to you. And out here, you have the freedom for that. I'm not saying that I would, like, if somebody can just, you know, get all crazy on me and stuff like that. I'm just saying that in jail, if you let somebody walk on, you're surrounded by everybody. There's no walking away. You can go there, you know, for let's say, for example, just, you know, 2 or 3 days, and within that 2 or 3 days, you end up with a life sentence. You know, if there's a booty bandit that wants to get you, and you're, you know, you only got a 90-day, you know, county stay, or 90 days, and somebody is talking crazy like they're going to do that, and it all depends on your areas. In some areas, none of that stuff happens. In some areas, it's very common. For some areas, it's like very low key. But if somebody was to, you know, if I was in jail for only 1 hour and somebody was going to try to do that to me, I'd probably end up being there for the rest of my life, because I would do everything in my power to make sure that didn't happen. And that, of course, would get me in more trouble. So, you know, you could be there, you know, you could also get in a fight and then an accident happen. Somebody lands wrong after you whack them upside the head, they fall wrong, and, you know, you can get yourself a manslaughter charge. You know, you can just having a knife in there. Having a knife out here is legal. You know, I guess it all depends on your city and state, but for the most part, you know, but in jail, no, if you feel like that you need that because you're always outnumbered, or, you know, they're doing people dirty, or, you know, somebody's going to run up and take your damn food. If you let them take your food, they're going to continue doing it. There needs to be a deterrent. The deterrent isn't that you always win, just that you're willing to stand up for yourself and do something about it. Win, lose, or draw, you're willing to do it. And sometimes people get done real dirty. They get stomped out, medical, air flighted, all that kind of stuff. There's also, you have to have, like, they tell you when to eat, basically. Commissaries are very expensive. If you're already homeless, you probably don't have a very good support system to help you on the streets. You think somebody's going to help you while you're in there? Probably not. In jail, yeah, so it does have some pluses. Like, people can get addictions, people can go ahead and sober up, and maybe find a few things, but it can also be really worse. You could be there on a suspended license and end up doing 20 years. There's YouTube videos on that. I've seen one before. I don't know if that person's on YouTube anymore, but I've seen one very similar. A dude was like, I think it was a DUI on a suspended license, and while he was in there, he was told to do something, and he ended up doing it because of his political beliefs on the streets. And I don't think you should do that. I don't think people should join gangs. I mean, I understand why people do it, and stuff like that. And a lot of gangs started out to protect themselves and protect their neighborhood from oppression, and then unfortunately, like anything that's good can turn bad. And then it went from it went from them protecting themselves against oppression to being the people who actually oppress people. A lot of people that strong arm rob inside jail and stuff. They're not just walking up to you and like it's going to be I'm one person, I'm taking your stuff. No, it's me and my gang, me and my people. That happens, and they don't go, like most places from what I've heard is they don't just like steal from you and then not put in like an address on it. They rob you, flat out. People that steal in jail and in prison are, from my understanding, are like rats. They don't like that stuff at all. Out here on the street, if you steal, people probably high five and everything else. In jail, no. If you steal from somebody, you let them know that you're stealing from them. And normally that's like, hey, come up with that magazine. Hey, I need that top ramen, stuff like that. So the food out here generally is better. You have more of an, I believe you have more of an opportunity to make money. In county jail, is somebody going to pay you $1 to recycle, like to go through the trash cans and recycle? No. There's other side hustles, like whatever your side hustles in there, other than, like if you have the, artistic abilities or singing abilities or playing instruments or whatever, but especially the artistic stuff, you can do that on the street, man, and make more and be okay. So I don't want to discredit it saying, don't ever go to, I would say don't ever go to jail, but jail has helped people kick addictions, which is good. Being homeless, there's, like, let's say I was in Colorado and it was either I got to go to jail or I'm going to freeze to death right then and there. I'll go to jail. I won't like it, and if those were the alternatives, if it was that black and white, I would, I choose to preserve myself, So that's some of the stuff. You're not gonna, like, anything that you can get out here, you can get in jail, but it's going to cost more. But you have more accessibility here. It's the freedom. The bottom line with me is literally, if you you can't walk away from situations. Somebody decides to touch my food in jail or whatever, we're fighting. If somebody decides to call me a negative name, I have the option to walk away. Let's say, for example, somebody said something stupid to me right now, right? If they said something stupid to me and I felt insulted, I mean, I could be immature and do whatever I wanted to, or I could walk away and probably never see that person ever again. If I do something, probably gonna go to jail. So a lot of stuff that I do being homeless is I always, I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to go to prison. I value my freedom. But I mean, does that mean you don't jaywalk? No. I mean, are you really gonna get in trouble for jaywalking? I mean, use your own discretion. Are you, there was a comment of somebody saying, when staying at a bando, like I got videos of me being in bandos and stuff. Wouldn't that be like, getting yourself in trouble? Well, use your best judgment. I'm not telling you to do anything. This is basically entertainment, and this is my story, you know what I'm saying, or what I go through. I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything crazy. Me personally, in my area, Am I gonna be ran off of a bando by the cops, or somebody gonna call the cops on me? If they did call the cops, I'd leave before they even showed up. And if they did show up, it'd be hours later. If they did show up, are they really gonna look around and stuff like that? Are they gonna give me a warning? Yeah, they're gonna ask me to leave. It'd be like a small little petty trespassing charge or something like that. And the truth of this is I'm not worried about that. I would be more worried about other homeless people showing up. You know, I'd be more worried about them showing up and having bad intentions. You know, and you know, I've been getting some really good comments. Somebody's like, you know, hey, don't stay at the same place more than 3 days. Yeah, I generally don't do that either, especially a bando. Like, you know, I try to hang out in the backyard. You know, get to know that area. You know, stuff like that until I go inside. And when I go inside, I always make sure I have an exit or two and set up things to, you know, make noise. And if I hear the noise, I know to run out. I also I find low-key bandos, like, you know, not ones that are very obvious, and like ones that have been, you know, abandoned for 20 years that people still show up and party, you know, like youngsters show up there and party and stuff. I personally you know, find ones that are, you know, fresh on the market, just freshly foreclosed. Still looks pretty good out there, you know. You know, it hasn't been ran through yet. And I'm also you know, I would also suggest, I guess, is if you do something like that, that you always be clean about it. You're not there to vandalize and dirty up the spot. Try to make it look like you were never there. You know, leave a place, and that's the same thing with friends and stuff, right? If your friends or family let you use their house to you know, shave, shower, you know, eat, or anything like that, don't ever be a burden, man. Like, leave their place better, at least the same, if not better than when you did. So when you go in there to take a shower, do their trash need to be taken out? You know, when you shave, don't leave all that hair in their sink for them to clean up. You know, be courteous, be very respectful, because, you know, going in there and doing something like that will burn your bridges. But I am getting sidetracked a little bit, so I'll go back to the topic. What's worse, homeless or jail? Yeah, for me, I would rather be homeless. For everybody, you know, like, there's some people out there that would hate going to jail, but it's helped them, and I'm happy that it did. You know, I just don't want to be told what to do. You know, that's why I don't steal. You know, I keep a clean background. I would really suggest people not go to jail. You know, if they have to, if that's the only way they can survive, then it's fine. But I'm so worried that, like, okay, like, could I go do 90 days in jail? Most likely, you know what I mean? But in that 90 days, am I going to get myself in more trouble? Absolutely. I feel like I can't walk away from situations. I feel like that you know, it's a pressure cooker in there. Tensions can be very, very high. You know, if you let one person disrespect you, people are going to think that they can continue doing that, and you have to set examples. And unfortunately, sometimes the way you set examples is going all in, basically, right? Going all in and making sure that, you know, sometimes you have to answer this stuff by being extreme, you know. And I say it's extreme, but to them, to a lot of those people that, you know, they're lifelong you know, convicts and felons, or they're, you know, always in and out of jail, it's not extreme. It's just another day in the park to them. You know, if somebody gets wet up, if somebody gets fired up, if somebody you know, gets jumped, if somebody gets stomped out, if somebody gets medevaced, you know, if somebody gets life flighted, you know, it's business as usual for them. Sorry about that transition, but got a little bit of Twilight going on. This is about the best I could probably do at the moment. So other things you got to consider about you know, if you go to jail: corrupted correctional officers, you know, that may make advances on you, that may treat you like crap, they'll put fucking false charges on you, or that actually straight up disrespect you. You know, they can lie on you, they can you know, beat the crap out of you, and they can also say that you've assaulted them when you didn't, or if you end up having to assault them, you know, like, so you may have to take a beating. You know, from my understanding, you know, if they beat on you, you know, if you fight back, that's just worse. If it was an inmate or a regular person, no, you need to fight back. You need to stand up for yourself and do the best that you can, right? With a correctional officer, no, they do you dirty, man. They'll beat the crap out of you. It's not just one-on-one. I know that there's cases where it's one-on-one and everything's cool, but it's just not worth it, man. It's not worth it, you know, to find out if somebody's going to be straight with you or not. It's not worth it to go ahead and you know, fight back and then still get, you know, the crap beat out of you, and then get, you know, probably 6 years added to your sentence. I guess if you already have a long enough sentence and you just don't care at that point, then yeah, you know, your pride, your respect, you know, you have nothing to lose, or you always have something to lose. But at that point, that's basically your lifestyle. So you do. People do whatever they do, and when that happens, it does send a message to them. So the people that actually will whoop on a guard and do that stuff, the message is to watch what the hell you say. Not everybody's just going to take your crap. There's some people that just don't care, and them doing that actually probably makes everybody else a little bit safer inside jail, because they never know when somebody might snap. I would think that it's generally people who have long, that are never going to get out. They have nothing to lose, basically, or like they would be willing to. It's not just about not having something to lose. They would be willing to take it that far. There's also different, like depending on, where you're from, like the politics that run in there, man. You may not want to run the politics that are there, but you have to. There's a set of rules. There's like man's laws, and then what the correctional officers and like the establishment rules are, which of course you're going to bend and break. And then there's also the inmates rules. You don't snitch on people. You keep your mouth shut. You stay out of people's business. There's a lot of stuff that just by glancing at somebody, they take it the wrong way. There's a lot of stuff where you might have looked in somebody's cell, and that's disrespectful, and you saw something you shouldn't. And let's say they get popped. Let's say they get their cells shaken down from it, and they think about that time that you walked by and you glanced. Now they might think that you did something. Now you're in you can get into so much crap so quick. So it's way better, in my opinion, to be outside. Not outside, but I would rather be homeless on the streets. You get if you don't have a cell phone, you can get an Obama phone. You ain't got nothing going on, you can go to the library. You can go knock on people's doors and ask to work for stuff. If you don't have a blanket, if you don't have a backpack, if you don't have nothing to eat, you can call 211, and you can go ahead and find food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to be straight. I would rather not go into a shelter, but I couldn't even get in one if I wanted to. To get they're all full, and to get emergency shelter, you need to do it. I've talked about this in other videos. Documented mental illness, escaping domestic violence, having kids, being a vet, and being over a certain age, like I think it's like over 55, and I don't qualify for any of that stuff. And quite frankly, I wouldn't go into a shelter. I would rather go to a shelter than jail, though. But bed bugs, dirty people, like the dirty people are, in my experience, are the ones that are running the place. Talk crazy to you. I don't kiss anybody's butt. I'm not like that. But I encourage everybody to check out my other videos. Why I became homeless. I used to be a trucker. I have why I quit trucking. I actually have a video that's not doing so good, and I think it's because I talk about some really graphic stuff. And that video is called Childhood Trauma. I ask you to take a look at that. And thank you for rocking with me. If you want, hit the Cash App. I'm my own sponsor, so you already saw that. So hopefully you guys rock with me, run those likes up, and thank you, everybody.